Did you know that securing a death certificate in Michigan is absolutely pivotal for handling estates, closing accounts, and so much more? Well, you're in the right place. Let's jump right into this explainer and demystify the exact bureaucratic process of securing this vital record so you can get it done efficiently. Having this specific document is literally the ultimate key to unlocking frozen assets and navigating probate courts. It is arguably the most important piece of paper you will need in the weeks following a passing. So stick around because we're going to discover exactly how you can obtain one efficiently, affordably, and for sure without any unnecessary headaches. Here is our roadmap for today. We're covering why you need this record, eligibility and ID requirements, application methods and costs, expected processing timelines, troubleshooting those pesky errors, and finally, a quick recap and some disclaimers. Let's get to it. Section 1. Why you need this record and understanding its essential uses. So why the urgency? Well, whether you're an executor settling an estate or maybe a genealogist tracing your family roots, this official piece of paper is a mandatory tool. Think of it as your golden ticket. The probate court absolutely requires it when you petition for estate administration. Financial institutions, banks, title companies, they all need certified copies to close out accounts or transfer property. Plus, the statistics on these certificates serve as a permanent historical record for descendants and help the state compile accurate mortality reports. So it's a big deal. Moving right along to Section 2, eligibility and ID requirements. Basically, who can apply and what exactly you need. Now, here's a really interesting fact. Unlike restricted birth records, which are basically sealed up type for 100 years, almost anyone can request a Michigan death record. As long as you pay the fee and submit the application, you're good. It is legally classified as a public unrestricted record. The only minor exception is if the record references a confidential marriage performed by a probate judge. That stays restricted. But for the vast majority of cases, you actually don't need to be the personal representative or a direct family member to get a copy. But hold on, they won't just hand it to anyone without proof of who's asking. The state registrar requires strict verification of your identity. Getting this wrong is a major reason applications are delayed, and that's the last thing you need right now. You can use a single Tier 1 ID, like an unexpired U.S. passport, a driver's license, or a military ID. Easy enough, right? But if you don't have those, you have to provide 3 alternative documents from Tier 3. That means gathering things like a signed Social Security card, a land rental agreement, and a recent utility bill. So definitely double-check your ID before you apply. All right, Section 3, application methods and costs. Let's look at where to go and what it's going to cost you. Following these precise steps is going to transform a potentially overwhelming bureaucratic task into a super achievable checklist. First up, gather the decedent's info. Their full name, social security number, date and place of death, and their parents' names. Second, you need to choose between a short form or a long form. A short form just gives the basic facts, while the long form includes the medical cause of death, which, by the way, life insurance companies almost always require. Third, decide if you're applying through the state or a local county. And finally, prepare your payment via check or money order made out to the state of Michigan. Now, let's talk numbers, because your cost completely changes depending on whether you apply directly through the state or through a local county clerk. The state of Michigan charges a statutory base fee of $34 for the search and 1 certified copy, and then $16 for each additional copy. However, individual county clerks actually set their own local rules and fees. For instance, Wayne County charges $24 for the first copy and $7 for additional ones. Ottawa County, just $15 for the base fee. So, if the passing occurred in a specific county, applying locally could absolutely save you a significant amount of money. You also have multiple avenues to actually submit this application. If you apply to the state by mail, you'll send it to P.O. Box 3721 in Lansing. If you're local, you can just walk right into the Capitol View building. You can also order online or by phone using the state's authorized provider, VitalCheck. But a quick pro tip here. Using that third-party VitalCheck service requires a credit card or debit card and will definitely hit you with extra processing fees on top of the state's base price. And of course, you can always visit the local county clerk offices directly if that's more convenient for you. Moving to Section 4, expected processing timelines. Exactly how long you're going to be waiting. If you urgently need to close financial accounts, you might want to consider the rush fee, because standard government mail isn't exactly known for its lightning speed, right? By law, an attending physician has 48 hours to certify the medical section. Once that's filed, a regular mail search through the state takes about 4 to 6 weeks. If you pay the $12 expedited fee, that drops down to 2 to 3 weeks. But If you are in an absolute bind, going in person to Lansing before 3 p.m. with an extra rush fee gets you same-day processing in about 2 hours. Talk about a time saver. Section 5. Troubleshooting and corrections. What to do when you need to fix record errors. Okay, let's look at a really common, albeit frustrating scenario. Imagine you're an executor, you're already stressed, and you suddenly discover the funeral home misspelled a parent's name on the final certificate. You take it to the bank, and they immediately reject it because the name doesn't perfectly match their accounts. Nightmare, right? Well, to change or correct information on a Michigan death certificate, you can't just go back to the local county clerk. You actually must process the correction directly through the state of Michigan, using a very specific set of documentation. And the state demands strict evidence to fix even a simple spelling mistake. You have to submit Form DCH-0856, a $50 non-refundable fee, and show a valid ID and proof of relationship. But here is the real hurdle. You need 2 dated documents created prior to the date of death that substantiate the correct information. Think old school records, land deeds, things like that. Also, keep in mind, if the error is regarding the medical cause of death, you can't fix that yourself. Only the certifying physician or medical examiner can submit those changes. Finally, Section 6, Recap and Final Disclaimers, the key takeaways you need to remember. To sum it all up, preparing the right identity documents and picking the right office up front can save you significant time and money. Step 1, make sure you have your single Tier 1 ID or those 3 Tier 3 IDs ready to go. Step 2, check if the local county clerk offers a cheaper rate than the state's $34 fee before you apply. And Step 3, please double-check every single letter and date submitted by the funeral home to avoid that painful $50 correction fee and a massive scavenger hunt for old land deeds. As a quick disclaimer, please remember that government fees, acceptable ID rules, and processing timelines are established by statute and administrative policy, which means they are definitely subject to change. You absolutely must verify the latest details on the official Michigan Vital Records website. And of course, if you are handling a complex probate estate, it is always a smart move to seek professional legal advice. Navigating state bureaucracy after a loss is undeniably tough, but having a clear roadmap completely removes the guesswork. Prepare your forms, choose the right location, and save yourself some time and money. But it kind of makes you wonder, if retrieving a single public record takes this much exactness, what other vital records might be quietly hiding errors that could disrupt your family's future? Keep learning, stay organized, and we will see you on the next explainer.